Hey, I'm Kalani Hubbard and I'm a filmmaker, and I was asked by Film Courage to make a little video about my latest project and the camera gear that I used to make that project. So here we go. So we created a 6-episode comedy series called ROCKETSHIP Radio, and the comedy is just all about a struggling rock band trying to make it in the world and, you know, all the fun challenges along the way.
Shut up! I'm trying to watch the game here!
When me and my friends started writing this series, we were talking about, you know, what camera should we use and, you know, how are we gonna pull this off, and we ended up choosing the Canon C100 to make this project. So this project was super run and gun and super low budget, and we had 1 week to film everything. And we didn't really have a lot of options. We wanted to rent a Red Scarlet, but because a Red Scarlet costs more than our entire project costs, that didn't really seem like a good idea. The main reason we shot with the Canon C100 was because I already owned a C100, and I actually had 2 other friends that owned C100s, so it kind of made the most sense for us to call in a few favors, get some cameras from friends, and just shoot this thing as quickly and as low budget as we possibly could. So we could use our budget on other things like feeding the crew and, you know, having some locations. Even though the Canon C100 wasn't necessarily my first choice, it ended up being a really great camera for the situations we were in because everything was so run and gun. The great thing about the Canon C100 is that it's a really fast camera. You can turn it on and you can start recording in seconds, which is really great when you're just trying to capture a moment. Another thing is that the battery lasts a really long time. So we would have these extra big batteries that we put in them, and they would last an entire production day. Another great thing is that the cards seem to never fill up. The little MTS files are so small, but the quality is actually really good. So we ended up writing a scene about a cat cafe, where all the characters meet in this cat cafe and they have coffee and hang out, and it's their kind of meeting spot. And there was 6 episodes, so within that, each episode had a cat cafe scene. So this was a large location as far as script and story goes. And we had the location for 4 hours, which was pretty insane for us to shoot 6 different episodes with multiple scenes in 4 hours in 1 location. But because I had 2 other friends that owned C100s, we ended up throwing those cameras on tripods and literally blasting out all these scenes in 1 to 2 takes. And in post, we were able to cut to all these different camera angles and really make these scenes work out. That's another great thing about the C100 is that they're a lot more accessible and they're a lot easier to get your hands on, and they're a lot cheaper to rent. Overall, I think we really achieved the look we were going for this series, and the C100 really pulled it off. We weren't really going for super cinematic or really serious. It's a lightweight comedy, you know, so we wanted a camera on sticks, or we wanted a camera on a shoulder mount, and, you know, witty conversations and this and that. And I think this camera really did pull it off, and I'm really happy with it, and most of all, we fit within our budget.
So you're telling me we made no money?
Yeah. I ended up owning a Red after I filmed ROCKETSHIP Radio Show, and I don't take back the fact that I shot it on Canon C100s because I learned so much from creating this, and now that I own a Red, I'm going to take what I learned from that project and apply it to the next. I'm really glad that not having the exact camera gear that we wanted didn't stop us from creating the project that we wanted to create. And I just want to encourage you guys that, you know, if you don't have the exact camera that you wish you had, or, you know, it's not the latest and greatest thing, don't worry about that. Just go out and make something the best that you can with the camera that you have. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you want to know more about the series I've been talking about that was shot all in C100s, you can find it at rocketshipradioshow.com. Until next time, see you guys later.